Hi everybody, my name is Lauren Zimmerman. I'm the owner of the Writer's Block Bookstore. We're located in Winter Park and in Winter Garden, Florida. If you're not familiar with Orlando or Winter Park or Winter Garden, we're located right smack in the center of the state. And no, we're not close to Disney World. We're north of Disney World. That doesn't mean that we don't say sometimes that Disney is in our backyard. So I'm going to start a series of talks that is going to go on our blog and through our social media. And we're going to be doing some really exciting things with this. Every week I'm going to talk about what's going on in the store, what's going on with me as it relates to the store. So let's get started. Today I think we're going to talk about me, something that I hate talking about, to be honest with you. People are always asking me, why did you open a bookstore? Or how did you open a bookstore? Especially in the world of Amazon and everything else. I just want to give you a little bit of history about me. I always had a bunch of careers. I think I'm an eternal student. Maybe that's one of the reasons I opened a bookstore. I always like to read. I always like to go to school. I'm not going to bore you with all of my degrees, but at the end, in 2014, I was finishing up my master's in social work, had one semester left to go, and I was doing some art projects at the same time. And I was really struggling because I didn't know if I wanted to go ahead and be a social worker. And I listened to a podcast where Ann Patchett talked about her bookstore. And I thought about Winter Park, and I thought about the fact that I've been a 50-year resident here. I've worked here, I've worked on the Avenue, I've worked all over Central Florida. And I was thinking that we hadn't had a bookstore in 20 years. So I called up my husband and I said to him, I think I'm going to open a bookstore. And his answer to me was, okay, like he didn't understand what I was talking about. So one thing led to another, and we opened up our first store in 2014 on Welburn. Now, how did I come up with the name? And I don't think a lot about my past and everything that I've done, but in cleaning out my office to get ready for this, of course I'm human. It was a mess. It looks great now. But when I was cleaning out my office, I found some things. I used to do these little art projects, and this is art. I'm an artist, mixed media art. And I used to do these little art projects and sell them on Etsy, and I did all kinds of fun stuff. And so I found this the other day, the Writer's Block. And this is a notebook that I created and I used to sell. And I think to myself that, how did I come up with the name? And I think that Writer's Block was in my peripheral vision because of the art that I was doing. And I thought that would be a really great name. And I looked it up and it wasn't taken. The corporate and the website, and so that's where it began. What I also want to talk about is what, now that we have a bookstore, it's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. I thought, very simply, Orlando needed an independent bookstore, and I did my best, and I opened the store, and people loved it. But what I've learned in the last 8 years, and maybe it's just in my DNA because of my background, I'm always involved in public interest, social work, helping people. But as it morphed, it became more of a community. It became more of a book. Why is an independent bookstore important? We have partnerships. We are involved with everybody. We work with the community. We do events. Personally, I'm involved in many things. I'm on the board of trustees for the Winter Park Library. I've just become the chairman of the Winter Park Institute. All of these have everything to do with the bookstore. I would never have gotten involved had it not been for my core values that I have about becoming involved in the community and doing community service. Sometimes it feels like it's a nonprofit, but people love it, and I'm glad that they love it. And so what we need to do as a community in order for independent bookstores to survive, we need to recognize all the community services that the independent bookstores do and why they're important to our community and why it's important to, when you're on your phone about to order from Amazon, you stop yourself and you say, well, who's my local bookstore? Who can I buy from locally? We're going to end with the way I'd like to end all of these. This one was a little bit long because I was talking about myself reluctantly. But what we're going to do is we're going to end with what am I reading? Who are my favorite authors? What events we're having for authors? Who I'm trying to get as authors. So I'm going to start with a few books that are on my bookshelf right now. Now, forgive me, a lot of them haven't come out yet. And sometimes I'll talk about books that are coming out now. I might, if I'm so excited about a book, I might talk about it before it's released. You can always go to our website and pre-order. But I'm going to go ahead and just talk about 3 books that I'm reading right now that I'm really excited about. The first book that we're going to talk about is a book by Celeste Nig, Our Missing Hearts. I'm halfway through it. It's coming out in October. I have to talk about it. I'm in love with it. 1, 2, 3. And anyway, I'm just screwing this up completely.
No. Well, I can trim in between.
Is that Dawn?
It's Scott.
Who? Scott? Oh. Is that Dawn?
That's Dawn.
Okay, I need that. Should I just pause this?